The rule book is very complicated. Does it have to be that way?
Nicklaus, destined to become one of the country's greatest golfers.
Nicklaus rips it out. It's in. There's another bird. That should sew it up for Nicklaus.
What is the worst shot in golf? A whiff. What's the penalty?
One stroke.
One shot. Hit the ball out of bounds. It's 2 strokes. It's actually stroke and distance.
Right, that's right. Effectively 2 strokes.
Effectively 2 strokes. And it's not nearly as bad a shot as the guy who whiffed the golf ball. You know, as you're playing an alternate shot with your wife, you tell her to whiff it, and you're not too bad a shape.
That's right.
But if she hits it about a bounce, you're not too good a shape. And yet you take out of bounds, and you look at the old course at St. Andrews. All the finish of that golf course is lined with the out of bounds being the key feature, all the way down to the end. So, who's to say? I've always felt that out of bounds was probably the most unfair penalty in the game, because it really meant that you just didn't own the property. You didn't have the ability to buy it, or you didn't have enough money to buy it.
Sure.
And then you utilize it as a penalty.
It's an interesting perspective. You know, back to kind of the whole issue of, are the rules too complicated? You know, one of the things that the R&A and the USGA struggle with in trying to make the rules simpler, and we certainly want to do that, is how do we do that? And there are certainly ways. I mean, for instance, we could always place the ball instead of dropping it. That would make the rules easier. But you start to say, well, do we really want people placing the ball when they're in the rough? And the other thing we've seen over the last couple decades is that the rules have gotten much, and I say much more complicated, because there's this mentality of everything has to be fair. And when you start with that premise, you start creating exceptions in the rules. So that, okay, the rule's written this way, except if this happens, this is going to be the outcome. And I think that's where, candidly, we've struggled with keeping the rules simple, because there's all these exceptions.
The rules of golf should be, and I think are for the most part, if you really think about it, they're common sense.